Hey Walter, might as well jump on. It's only a few minutes before the stream starts. How does the stream look to you, Walter? I'm using better settings. Everybody yesterday said that that it was locking up and reloading and all of that, and so I hopefully have fixed that now. Not really doing anything right now. In that weird point, there's about 9 minutes before the show is supposed to start, and not enough time to certainly for me to play a different game or record a different game. I could certainly play Hearthstone if I want to do that, but that's kind of the only thing. Ironically, I'm not really set up for anything else. Let's see. Just update Minecraft right while I'm sitting here. Haven't launched it in so long. I probably won't have time to play Minecraft. We'll probably just stick to Hearthstone, since that's what the stream says. There's a lot of setup still to be done for the European and the Asian markets accounts. So I still want to go through all of that. I have way too many web pages open right now. Way too many. What's the point of telling it to remember you when and it doesn't? Let's see. What is the Mojang account password? Every time you try to log into something, you've forgotten the password. Well, I have, at least. Sounds like they might be setting up now. Where is the E3, Walter X? Well, the stream is playing right now. E3 is taking place in Los Angeles for the most part, although the EA conference yesterday was actually let me say that correctly. The EA conference yesterday was in LA. Everything else is in Las Vegas. And if they were thinking about, I think maybe they were thinking about moving everything to LA for a couple years or maybe permanently, but they haven't, I don't think, gotten that far. Should start in just a second. Finally. Thank goodness for Google Chrome's ability to remember passwords and tell them back to you. And I've gotten old and forgetful in my old age. Also paranoid, very paranoid with very long passwords. And unwilling to use a password manager. So of course then I'm using Chrome as a password manager, which means Google has all my passwords. I've got too many games running right now. I have no less than 4 games running right now. I'm recording Guacamelee for a future series that will air. I've got Time Clickers running. I've got Minecraft running. And I've got let's see. And I've got Hearthstone running. Minecraft is making noise right now too. One 1.11.2 and so I need to, if I was gonna get that to work, I need to upgrade the server. Let's see if I can quickly do that. Let's go ahead and turn off this text. Well, it's now officially 4 p.m. and they are 4 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Pacific. Unless I've got my times wrong, they should be starting any second now. This is what I figured would happen with E3 too, is with the EA conferences. I figured it wouldn't start on time. Here we go. So no more time to goof around. So we've got a slight problem right now on the screen in the fact that what it's showing me is this I think footage from old games at lower resolutions. So they're coming right out of the gate talking about 4K Ultra HD.
This is the 2017 Xbox E3 briefing.
Feels like Hearthstone's audio might be a little too loud again. If they're gonna be that quiet about it. All the audio sounds low. And see, already I'm more interested in watching this, and I want to see how can I get this on full screen for myself. You know, in all honesty, I should just swap the screens completely. I don't know how you'd do that though. That's some Windows key. Well, they're gonna talk about Halo apparently. That looks new. Gears of War. So we're getting some real teasers of actual games. Crackdown. We'll probably get the reveal of what the Scorpio is actually going to be called. Maybe not in this preview, but in the next speech after this preview. These new consoles just look like boxes, man. You might as well just make a PC.
The head of Xbox, Phil Spencer.
Hey, no, stop. Okay. Good afternoon to those of you with us here in person, watching on this incredible 4K screen, to the millions watching us.
If that really is a
world,
4K
TV,
screen,
online,
I guess that wouldn't
to
matter
those of
for
you
something that
watching
big.
and interacting on Mixer, on behalf of everyone on Team
They're
Xbox,
gonna push Mixer
welcome to
like
E3
crazy
2017.
because that's their new streaming service to try and defeat YouTube streaming and Twitch streaming.
When the renegade group of gamers, creators, and engineers came together to form the original Xbox team and deliver the first Xbox console, we were driven by three principles: empower developers, delight gamers, and deliver true hardware and technical innovation. The original Xbox team lived by the mantra, there's no power greater than X. And today, we are proud to welcome the newest member of the Xbox family, fittingly named
a tally
Xbox
mark
One
point.
X.
Xbox One X.
Xbox
It's
One
not
X,
terrible. The problem here is that
console
whatever
ever
they keep adding
sets a
to
new quality
these
standard
names
for
is just
gamers
making the
and
name too
creators.
long.
Starting on November 7th, Xbox One X joins the Xbox One and the Xbox One S when it launches worldwide.
See, every single time you write down the name, it's
Now,
Xbox space
I'd like
one
to
space
introduce one of our
something.
leaders in the Xbox engineering team,
And
responsible for
if
making
they've
the
jumped
Xbox
from
One
the
experience
S for Slim
great for gamers and developers.
to the
Please
X,
welcome my friend,
they're
Green
not going to
Chowdhury,
make a
to tell you
Y,
more.
they're not going to make a Z. So they'll just have to create a totally new name.
Thanks, Phil. It's an honor to be here at E3 and represent 3 years of engineering. The team
I suppose they might as well have just called it
From the beginning,
Xbox
our
One
focus
2
on game
or
creators
2.0.
and you, the gamer, gave us 3 big goals we needed to hit.
They could have gone Xbox 4.0
compatibility, and craftsmanship.
and been crazy.
Let's talk power, which
With
starts
that.
with the specs. 6 teraflop GPU.
So we already
at
really know
1.172
the
gigahertz, 12
teraflops
gigabytes
of the
GDDR5 memory,
and the settings.
26 gigabytes per second of memory bandwidth.
This console is pretty great.
These are impressive numbers.
I think
that are
it
more
might be
powerful than any other
slightly
console
CPU
on every
bottlenecked.
dimension.
Because the graphics card got a big boost, but not really a major increase in the CPU, which means if you're doing a lot of physics or a lot of AI, if you're trying to have more enemies on the screen, I don't think you're going to have a significant increase between the Xbox One original and the Xbox One X.
4K UHD Blu-ray playback.
4K UHD playback is
Next,
nice, but
compatibility. We knew compatibility was critically
I'm
important
not
for
sure it's
Xbox
really
One X,
necessary.
and your reaction to 360 backward
I don't know how many
compatibility
people
has
really are
energized
going to
the
get on
team
that.
even more. So right from the start, all of your Xbox One accessories and games will work with Xbox One X.
All accessories and games,
But
yeah,
For
better.
the team and me, that
But
wasn't
that's not
There's
Xbox
more.
360
good enough.
games.
The game library
That
you
has to
have
come
today will
digitally
look and play
for
even
backward
better on
compatibility.
Xbox One X, with enhanced
Which
visual
is still
fidelity,
something they're kind of
isotropic
working
filtering,
on. They're
and
still
faster
releasing
load times.
360 games on the Xbox One as backward
Even if you haven't
compatible.
made the jump to a 4K TV yet, we designed this product for you as well. Since Xbox One X enables a technique called super sampling, the new 4K games you see on stage today will look better on your 1080p TV than anything you've seen before.
Super sampling, as in a
And finally,
downscaling.
craftsmanship.
For every 4 pixels,
Meticulously paid
it samples
attention
those
to
4
every
pixels,
detail of design
makes
to craft our
a
most technically
calculation
advanced
on which
console
would be the
ever.
right average of
It
those 4
starts with the
pixels to make into
Scorpio
1 pixel,
We use
and then
16
puts that
nanometer
down on the
technology to
1080p
build a
resolution
360 square millimeter chip,
versus
7
the
billion
4K
transistors,
original.
and a 384-bit wide memory bus. This is the fastest, most advanced processor to ever power
All of
a
those
console.
tech specs probably mean nothing
Our
to
premium
gamers.
design means that every millimeter and every
They don't even
component
really
within
mean
the
anything to
console has
me.
been architected for maximum power and efficiency. Our aspirations were so high, an industry standard approach just wasn't good enough. The
See, and
Scorpio
I'm not
engine
even
is so intense
doing anything
that
on
for the
Hearthstone
first
right
time
now
ever on a
because
console, we're using a
we're-
liquid-cooled vapor
I'm more
chamber
interested.
normally reserved for servers and high-end PC cards.
So it's going to have liquid cooling in it, which means
An
unless they got
engineer
that
on the Xbox hardware
perfectly
team invented a
closed
new power
so it
management
never
system
leaks,
so innovative, we named it after
we're
it.
going to have some
The Hovis method
failures.
uniquely optimizes every single Xbox One X at the system and component level to deliver consistent performance efficiently and elegantly.
I'd prefer an
Now,
enclosed
it's
liquid
easy
cooling
to say
system
all this
versus
technology and
a
capability will
aftermarket
mean a bigger
liquid cooling
console.
system, though,
But
because
again,
then at least they have a factory and a machine
not
that
only have we
makes
built the
sure
most powerful
nothing can
console
leak
ever,
versus
Xbox One X
an end
is the
user trying to
smallest
make sure all the
Xbox ever.
connectors are right.
This is the system you asked us to build, and it has been a great honor to design.
They are
and
so
build it for you.
far out on the
I couldn't
cameras.
be more proud of our team, and I
Even
hope
even
you
now
love it
they're too
as much as
zoomed
we
out
do.
on the cameras.
Now, let's see what this monster can do.
Did we really need to see his
World premiere.
below his belt? What's this gonna be? I wouldn't be surprised if this is Borderlands 3. Or Halo. Or Recore. Or Gears of War. Or no game actually at all. This looks like a Formula 1 game. Well, it occurs to me as I've been in the hype here, I haven't even introduced myself. If anybody's new to the stream, hey, my name is Rydo. We're doing a special stream as I comment over the E3 press conferences. We're watching a trailer for some kind of racing game, which already looks slightly more racing focused than the Need for Speed payback on the EA press conference yesterday, which that conference was incredibly boring, which is amazing because I was so bored. This is Forza Motorsport 7. I was so bored. I went through EA's list of games they've ever released in their lifetime. They've got tons of things they could have just re-released from 10-20 years ago and at least had something to say. Or at the very least they could have teased 2 of the Star Wars games that they were making.
Frankfurt, Paris, Detroit. But through your passion for racing on Xbox and PC, Forza has become the premier partner.
Need for Speed is more about
so today, for the
fighting the police who are chasing you in races, where Forza I think is going to be more focused on actual racing. This is ridiculous.
We announced a 6-year partnership with Porsche.
So Porsche is revealing an actual car. Well, supercar, which is a car that technically is for sale, but they won't sell a lot of them because they're overpriced.
Outside of the guarded walls of Porsche. That honor,
of course, what does that really mean? Is it a different paint job on a standard?
Porsche 911 GT2 RS.
A 911 GT2 RS. This is great for car people, completely stupid for video game people.
This is not only the most aggressive expression of Porsche's legendary design, it features the most powerful road-going 911 engine ever made. Like the Xbox One X, it's a monster.
Yeah.
And with over 4.8 million
but you better get it on the right-hand drive with the flappy paddle gearbox, because you try to drive that like a Western United States car and you will ruin it, which is true for all of the supercars.
So now let's take a look at the Porsche 911 GT2 RS in Forza Motorsport 7.
GT2 Rally Sport.
I'm joined on stage by 2 presenters for our Forza Racing Championship Esports Series.
I'm Shannon McIntosh, professional race car driver and Porsche driving coach. I'll be pushing the
Alright, so they found a way to bore me. So let's start doing some Hearthstone.
Professional racer
I have,
and stunt driver.
let's see.
I will be fighting to survive dynamic weather in the Nürburgring in this Nissan.
Let's trade out our daily quests. I need to play 30 Warlock class cards. And
using the power of Xbox One X, Forza Motorsport 7 runs at
switch over here and open a card pack that I got from the Watch and Learn from yesterday.
And we have the additional power to deliver shocking levels of detail. Using super high resolution assets, we've recreated the intense feel of one of the greatest driving roads in the world, the Hafit Mountain Pass.
So, sorry if you really wanted to see those cars. They probably look pretty.
But in Forza Motorsport 7, We've reimagined the entire racing experience on all devices. Racing
Forza, I don't think has anything special it wants to do. I think it's just a pure racing game.
We've made racing more epic and grand. Race through living environments featuring spectacular vistas and massive scale. You can see we've made racing more dynamic and surprising. Dynamic puddles grow as the storm unleashes its fury.
So all these sports games are the same. Every year it's better graphics, better tracks, hopefully, more tracks, hopefully, more weather effects.
Beautiful and alive. Dark skies open up and change as the sun emerges from the
they were
clouds
talking
for
about
a
darker
breathtaking finish.
darker maps in Battlefield, and the last thing I want is darker maps than anything.
Racing is reborn in Forza. Whether running on the Xbox One family of consoles or Windows 10 PCs, Forza Motorsport 7 is the most
seems like they're going to be focused on
racing
Windows
ever
playing
made.
as well
With
as
more than
Xbox.
700 cars, it features the largest collection
Dirt 4 recently
Ferraris,
came out, and it
and
wasn't
Porsches
wasn't
ever assembled.
as good as I would have hoped. It's missing some of the things that were in Dirt 3.
And this week at E3, like
and
me, you can be the first to drive it.
But it does
So
have
come
kind of
experience
a
the most
create your own
powerful
course
road-going
ability.
911 ever made. On the
So
Xbox One X,
I don't know.
the most powerful
It's
console
hard to
ever
decide
made
if
in Forza Motorsport
it's better
7.
than Dirt
Thank
3.
you.
They took Dirt 3 off Steam, so I guess you'd have to buy either Dirt 4 or Rally, Dirt Rally, or whatever the one in between Dirt 3 and Dirt 4 was called. But my point there is I don't think they're going to have
and when Xbox
much
One
competition.
X launches, we will all get to experience Forza Motorsport 7 in true 4K at 60 frames per second.
Arguably on
Today,
PC,
we're gonna
most
showcase
racing
the
games
world's
you could
greatest creators
potentially
with a
run them
lineup
up
of
to
different types of
8K.
games for every type of gamer. It is the largest,
I
and
think
believe
racing
the most
cars
diverse
in
lineup of
particular
games that
would be
we've ever
easy
shown on our
to
Xbox E3
upscale.
stage. Games from creators large and small, games that inspire and challenge us.
I do want to see more
that
games,
transport us to new
since
worlds
EA
and
only
offer us
really
new
talked about
perspectives,
5 games
and
for
games that push the
2
boundary of
hours
our art form.
plus worth of
Today, we will feature
of
42
show.
games here on our stage.
42 games. That is a huge
Including
difference.
22
42.
games with console exclusivity on Xbox One.
22
Every one of
console,
these games will
which
play
means they'll
great
still be on
each
PC.
member of the Xbox One family, but of course, they will play best on Xbox One X. Up next
So,
is a game from a creative
if-
team that built their franchise on Xbox. In 2010,
if 28,
Games
I would
worked
say,
with
of
us
those
to
games
launch
are
a single-player
are good,
masterpiece that I played on Xbox 360.
that's gonna be
Now, I'm honored to
really,
bring them back with the premiere of their next
really
running in-engine in
dangerous
4K.
for
World premiere.
for PlayStation 4. PlayStation 4 has had a nice amount of a head start this generation, and this looks like it won't. Is this Doom? There was a game where you were on this frozen planet. Hearthstone deck tracker just decided to crash on me. This is a dead space. Let's go ahead. I was just talking with somebody on the stream yesterday about Hearthstone deck tracker crashing and tell him, no, it never crashes. Okay, it crashed. I was wrong. This might be the darkness. This might be... There's another game. There's one game where the currencies were, the bullets were your currency, and so if you had better bullets, you would be less likely to use them. I don't think this can be Doom. It doesn't look artistically dark enough. This might just be a new game. A huge open world with a lot of tunnels. Sliding, shooting crossbows. Looks like it started off on this trailer as one type of game, and now it looks like it's closer to a completely different type of game. I think he just knocked over a bottle and it made a sound in the trailer. Yeah, so monsters and hunting. And when you go in the tunnels, you need a gas mask and or something like that. Lost that Hearthstone game because I'm not paying attention. Doesn't matter, I just need to play a bunch of Warlock cards for today's daily quest. So it looks like we're in some kind of future world version of the world where animals mutated into giant monsters. But trains are still running, and so there's some humanity. So what's the name of this game? Metro. So there's been a series of games. So it's called Metro Exodus. I'm gonna need a lot of room to write down all these names. But I don't know if they're really gonna say anything about a lot of these either. It might be just show us a world premiere and then show us another world premiere. Like, I think that's exactly what they're doing.
We are the first.
This is Assassin's Creed Origins, almost certainly.
The first to see the gods. The first to tame their beasts.
Now, I do have a lot of questions about this game.
To guard the soul
Like,
from evil.
are we going to have a hidden blade? How are you going to have boat battles if this is in ancient Egypt?
And built.
Are you going to have half the abilities that are in modern Assassin's Creed games?
But there are whispers on the wind. A brotherhood born in the shadows.
I would kind of hate if the Brotherhood actually does start at this point, because then they put a hard point.
Call themselves the assassins.
Like, if you can have no assassins before this point, this time, you've limited yourself a lot. Swimming from alligators, killing people with swords and spears, and holding a shield, jumping, shooting arrows and bow. Fighting a giant magical snake, which is a little bit out of the realm of Assassin's Creed.
Creative director Jean Gadon.
What you didn't see there, though, was a hidden blade. And you certainly didn't see a hook shot where you could jump from one point of the map to the other. You also didn't see any large buildings or things to run around and parkour on, so these elements may very well just be out of the game for this one.
3,000 years of history and mystery at the tip of your fingers. Assassin's Creed Origins is also the story of one man, Bayek.
Well, they said it was going to be 2 playable characters, and I thought it would be male and female.
If you like.
Apparently that rumor was wrong.
Forces that corrupt ancient Egypt will lead to the foundation of the Assassin's Brotherhood. But recreating ancient Egypt, going back so far in time, pushed us to rethink and expand our gameplay mechanics.
How do you expand the gameplay mechanics when you go back in time?
Systemic world, more detailed and alive than ever before. So today, we are very proud to show you what the game looks like on Xbox One X running in 4K. And now, just for you, Bayek is coming back to Siwa, his hometown, to kill the fake oracle, Medunamon.
World premiere.
So this will be interesting to see some actual gameplay. It's been edited for time, which means they took out all the times that the demo crashed to save everybody some time. You might as well assume that that is actually the case. Nobody's on chat right now. I hope my chat didn't mess up again. I'm trying as many different sources as possible.
The sacred oasis.
Alright, so now we're seeing a city, and it seems, at least in this area, it's mostly one height buildings, but they are close enough together to feel like an Assassin's Creed game. If we spot any glitches, if we spot any flags, any feathers, any collectibles of any kind, that's items that that maybe are showing up on his indicator. Let's see.
This temple resembles a fortress. What has happened?
And so now you control the bird directly instead of just doing what it used to be, was the birds or eagles would fly around.
Medunamon.
That's them loading.
The next masked one
by
on
the
my
way.
list. Now it is my turn to tip the balance of Anubis.
So there is a flag next to him, but I mean a collectible flag. There's your standard posts. There's trees that were added in Assassin's Creed 3 and then not really used. Seems like there's a slowdown mechanic now. Did he just drop coins on that character as some kind of like religious reason?
Fine bow.
I don't like how he's commenting on everything. Like, okay, so there's a now equipment. They've gone full RPG in the Assassin's Creed Origins now. I'll write that down.
It's too dangerous. We'll pass for now. Guide me, Senu. Betunamun.
This feels slightly like the first game, in which it was more of a puzzle and more of a challenge to try to take out your targets. They got away from that, where like full RPG, full level up. They're doing a completely different style of game now. Yes, Hidden Blade. Interesting. The story of the Hidden Blade. I guess we don't know where the original ones were invented from. We just know that Leonardo da Vinci improved on the old ones. So he should be using the originals. That means his ring finger should be cut off.
Finally.
If anybody could get that close on their ring finger. And bows. Shooting bows again. Seems like there's going to be a bunch of bow hunting.
At Xbox,
they didn't focus on
always
boat
believed in
battles.
The power of games to unite us all. Today, communities of gamers not only play together, they create together and watch together.
I'm not sure if there actually
A
is
whole new
hunting, but I
genre
bet
of
there
games
is.
has emerged, designed for both the player and the community. And with Mixer, we're innovating new features to make these experiences even better. This one's special. Of all the games in this genre, here is one that the world is having as much fun watching as they are playing. And I can tell you that.
So that's
includes many of
the
us at
second
Team
time they've
Xbox.
talked about Mixer.
The creative director
I bet they're
of
not going to talk
PlayerUnknown's
about
Battlegrounds
any
is a
any
gamer turned
streamers.
developer who designed this game together with a passionate
I
community.
bet they got
Please
some
welcome
feedback and took out all
PlayerUnknown himself,
references.
Brendan Green.
So is this the guy that made that game that everybody's liking right now, PlayerUnknown
Good
Battlegrounds?
afternoon, everyone. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is a multiplayer battle royale where you must fight against 100 other players to be the last.
A lot of video game journalists seem to
Our
love
team's
that
focus
game.
is to
I'm
bring
not
the
sure
most
if it's
complete battle royale
as
experience ever
popular
to
as
console
they're
and deliver a
they're
great
making it out to be, though.
across all Xbox One devices. Our development is truly community driven, and we owe much of our success to
And I'm not
everyone who's
sure
given us
how much
feedback over the
longevity
past
is in
year.
this game.
With over 3 million PC players to date, we can't wait to bring PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds exclusively to Xbox One later this year, with an update for Xbox One X enhancements shipping with the final version. See you on the Battlegrounds, everyone.
That's going to be another game that they'll count as an announcement.
Observe and reflect.
I feel like they might be streaming their own videos through Mixer. even though I'm watching this on YouTube, that they've just pulled that stream from Mixer to YouTube, and that's why they're locking up. You can tell the difference because if it's them locking up, you're seeing these circles that go in a wider circle, and when it's YouTube that's loading, you see just a line that goes in a wider circle. So we're watching a trailer for a game that's already out. Maybe there will be more maps. Maybe there will be more gameplay modes. I think that's really why I think it doesn't have as much longevity as a regular game would, because as far as I understand it, there is only like one gameplay mode. It's throw a bunch of players together and fight against those players, and whoever is alive at the end wins, and everybody else kind of loses. Which is not really a great way to play a game, to make a game, when you can have, I think, up to 100 people on a map, and 99 of them lose. Is this some kind of Halo game? Or is this some kind of weird Battletoads game? I have no idea what this is. It looks very bad in comparison to like what we have been looking at as far as Forza. I guess I shouldn't play ranked right now because I'm not paying enough attention. I'm gonna switch to casual. So I suppose if people did want to see me just playing Hearthstone in full screen, they could send me friend requests and then I'd accept them, and then they could spectate me. Deep Rock Galactic. That didn't look impressive at all. That looked bad.
Exclusive.
I'm just gonna write down its name and nothing else. That's how unimpressive it was. Man, the demands on good visual quality is so high nowadays.
If the world you knew.
You can't drop the ball on your animation budget, or people won't even give your game
the simple pleasures you took for
the time of day.
How would you protect yourself and the ones you love?
Like, this looks nice, and we've seen no.
Can't even save themselves.
It's just a zombie game. Yeah. So, is this a new zombie game or a sequel to the many previous zombie games? Feels like Xbox, Microsoft is dropping the ball now. Unless this is Left 4 Dead 3, which I doubt it. If this is a Walking Dead tie-in, that's gonna make it even worse. I'm less likely at this point to play.
Decide who belongs. How will you choose a place to call home? How will you build work together to defend it. From the terror just outside the walls.
Well, there was a top-down 2D game sort of like that where you
get hungry,
where you had to manage a group trying to survive in the zombie.
What mistakes will you make?
See, this though feels open-ended, but it also feels like it might just be a story mode.
Will you end the life? Or save it?
Please.
This is our only one, but we need everybody we've got.
This is too polished to really be as open-ended as they're implying. And still, that it doesn't look that great with the zombies. I don't know if you can really animate a good-looking zombie. This kind of does look like a Left 4 Dead 3.
No one gets a second chance.
Oh, it says State of Decay 2. So I'm guessing that's what this is.
How will you find the strength to carry on?
So do you just control a default character, and if that character dies, you move on?
In this world of the living and the dead, how will you survive?
Alright, so that's State of Decay 2. I would have to look into some of the reviews of State of Decay 1. And they're not saying anything about any of these games, which is probably the right response considering they are going to try to announce 40 plus more of them, I think. Probably 30 plus more now. We've gone through a few. Again, at least this looks like, well, this graphics doesn't look great. It looks like it's more of an artistic style than just a lack of resolution and textures.
2 players remaining.
So is this a new version of
1 player remaining.
Something like?
What a play from the wounded warrior. She was caught in a trap, but she used superior tactics to get herself out of there. She's gonna take the win. Let's move on to the next arena. Here we're following Bloody Marrow. There's only 2 players left in this particular map. Those tracks are leading up, but
that is extremely jarring.
That red outline, there's a mortal unicorn, and he's letting in about 100 meters away now. Looks like he might be.
This looks like some kind of MOBA, and they're certainly announcing it like a MOBA.
Now he's gonna cloak it up. Is he gonna walk in through the front door or what? Looks like he's gonna sneak in on the back window. Here we go. Shot in the back. That's one, twice. The Immortal's in trouble. Somebody from Mixer decided to chime in. That invincibility bubble's gonna help him out. And
there they mentioned Mixer again.
There we go. The next strike on Bloody Marrow. Bouncing it up forward. There we go. Oh, that was gonna do the damage.
They're really gonna push Mixer.
That's gonna be the win for Bloody Marrow. Bloody Marrow wins the round.
So this is some kind of MOBA called the Darwin Project. Here we go, Minecraft. Are they gonna be, is this gonna be the Java version or the Windows 10 Xbox version, portable version? This might just be focusing on the realms element that is stupid. Just selling servers and what used to be free and should always have been free builds and mods.
Please welcome, from Mojang, Brand Director Lydia Winters.
I guess in the United States they pronounce it Mojang.
This summer, millions of Minecraft players will be able to play together on the device of their choice for the first time. Xbox Live will unite the global Minecraft community across mobile, VR, Windows 10 PCs, and consoles.
So they're talking about the Win 10 version and everything except for the Java.
Effort, we're excited to welcome player-made skins,
the important version, the Java version,
and massive community-run servers into the game itself. Because we know that the amazing content you create makes Minecraft even better. This fall, Minecraft will receive a free 4K update that brings more graphical options to the game.
I'm sure that was hard.
We didn't stop there. With all this talk about graphics,
making Minecraft blocks look 4K.
Further. Today, we're revealing a new look for Minecraft that we're super duper excited for you to try out.
Oh, this is going to be interesting.
One that's inspired by the power of Xbox One X and available this fall. Let's check it out.
Yeah, I don't think people who are used to Minecraft, though looking the way it always has looked, are going to be happy about a drastic change in visuals. And if they wanted a drastic change in visuals, they could have done that for years now with shaders or mods. There's literally nothing Microsoft can add to Minecraft that I can think of that would be appreciated enough to get most people away from the Java versions.
When the Minecraft team showed me the first version of the game in 4K, I was blown away. Mojang is a great example of a studio that started.
It's kind of odd that this is when they decided to take a break and talk.
At Xbox, we're searching for games that are
there was 4 or 5 games they just showed trailers of.
That means ensuring that the biggest third-party franchises you want to play are there for you on Xbox One. Of course, you'll find these great games in the Xbox Store, available for pre-order today. But bringing the biggest blockbuster franchise is just one part of the job. Delivering broad, diverse, and
it's
new
still
games
way
to
better
Xbox
so far. This stream is way better than the EA stream.
That will surprise
and I can't even read what's on the text down there. So, but they're saying something. They're giving some helpful fact.
It's hilarious, a little crazy, and a whole lot of fun. Let's take a look at it.
World premiere.
Now I bet we're gonna go back into like 5 trailers. This is odd. It'd be the first time ever Microsoft really cared about a Dragon Ball Z game, or frankly even that many anime games they're not that interested in. Unless this turns out not be a game and instead is actually just some partnership with Crunchyroll. See, I don't even know if this is a physical release. it said it was coming to the Xbox store. 3 versus 3 2D fighting, which usually the Dragon Ball Z Budokai games are in 3D environments. What this really feels like is that they're abandoning their own 2D fighter of Killer Instinct, which they were gonna announce it. Dragon Ball Fighter Z. Interesting.
Exclusive.
Interesting choice. Just trying to get that number up. At least that Dragon Ball game is different than all the other Dragon Ball Z Budokai games, so there aren't 15 different versions of it that I would have to sort through to figure out which one was the one worth playing. That being said, it means it also won't have, I would guess, any anything as long as in the lines of story. What's this? Is this an Age of Empires game? See, they're putting dates and all the things that you'd normally say before. This looks like a Dynasty Warriors game of some sort. This is certainly going to make people just upset about Scalebound being cancelled. I don't know if that's really justified to be upset about that game being cancelled since you saw only a trailer of that game. Interesting. Black Desert MMORPG. Well, forget it then if it's an MMORPG. That won't survive all the others. WoW in particular.
Let me think.
That's how MMOs go. It's so sad. You can't even announce one and me give them the time of day, because WoW is so, World of Warcraft is so overpowering on that. This is the first trailer that feels like it's actually tried to have any interesting music. What is this? Is this a platformer? Is this a point-and-click adventure with shooting? Is this an adventure game? Was it called The Last Night? It got my attention, but I have no idea. Looks kind of like
exclusive.
That movie. Let's see if I can remember the name of the movie I'm thinking about. They're making a sequel to it after 25 years, and it stars Harrison Ford. This game's already been announced. It looked crazy then, it looks even crazier now. It's gonna be this weird music-based game that may be impossible for people who are tone deaf like me to play. It reminds me of Loom, which is a game I recently did some coverage on, because Loom was musical based too. Like I couldn't even read the name of it past that font. They keep zooming out. They did this last year too, I remember. They'd have the camera out of the screen because some of the video resolution just wasn't that good, or I don't know, they just thought this was it was important to show the crowds. What you may notice is the reporters in the audience aren't applauding like crazy. You're getting applause every now and then that might actually just be employees working here. This is Bloodstained, which is a vampire Dark Souls, is what I think they're trying to sell it as. They gotta keep on making something that is Dark Souls like. Oh wait, no, that's not Bloodstained, that's Code Vein. So, well, there's a game called Bloodstained that's
and I'm often
shockingly similar to that.
Whether it's a story that can only be born of a different land, or artistic design and storytelling that in a single moment can capture your imagination and inspire. There is much to be learned by looking beyond borders. Our first party is also a place of innovation and creativity. Today, I'm excited to share with you an extended look at never-before-seen gameplay from Rare's shared world adventure, Sea of Thieves.
So, a lot of advertisement behind Sea of Thieves. And I'll give it another go, see if it interests me this time.
The joy of a new voyage far across the Sea of Thieves. Just you, the wide open world, and oh, well, it's not just you, she's here too. Oh, and this guy's here. But the point is, this is a shared world, right for exploring and raiding with your fine pirate crew. Look at them, scurrying around, making themselves useful. That's what we like to see. The world of Sea of Thieves seethes with possibilities, with adventures skulking above and below the waves. All you have to do is jump in and up. There she goes.
Well, that was my daily quest of Hearthstone, so I don't need to play the Americas region anymore. I'm gonna switch over to the European region and try to do the setup.
It's like a pirate performance, boys.
The European region. Here we go. Want to get it.
Every player's decisions and discoveries will be different, but however you plan on seeking your fortune, it pays to be prepared. For gigantic lumps of iron, these are surprisingly portable. Amazing workmanship. Anyway, better get them back on board while the coast is clear. There's really no sense in pushing.
I'm gonna go ahead and write down Sea of Thieves and then put a comma after it, because I am willing to bet there's nothing in this trailer that interests me.
But you're not much used to your crew betting in too.
There is that game Stranded that people play. On the live streams, famous live streamers play them. I suppose if Sea of Thieves was an attempt to have a lot more game than what Stranded does, you're at least improving on something that already exists.
But for now, store your hard-earned loot and enjoy the voyage.
You'll have some sea battle. You obviously have some resource searching. You have multiplayer.
And so you'll shift from the heart of the sea to the island shore, where you'll explore jungles and coves, cliff tops and caverns. Every region has its
And
very own
if this breaks into swordplay, For Honor has probably ruined that. It feels like they zoomed out right then just to hide like poorly animated grass and
We'd like to blow you
leaves.
into little pieces. That's pirating for you. Keep that pistol primed.
Like
because you'll
every
also
zoom
place the
out,
glowing
every
remains of
zoom
those
in. I
raiders
don't
who
think
came
it's
before you,
just.
caught short in pursuit of
I
gold
wouldn't just immediately assume it's just because somebody wants to do it. I think they've planned it down to a T.
An afterlife of fighting and troublemaking until all your bets fall. It's what they would have wanted. Now, make sure your crewmates all have a part to play.
Crazy monkeys.
Yep, that works. And look, you brought the riddle map.
This does seem.
The cursed boar shrine where there is no sky. It lies in wait for a light-held hand.
Just barrels?
That's a weird.
Well, that's got to be around here somewhere. But if you've got a bad feeling, you can always leave someone on board to brace the ship for a speedy getaway. Decisions. Ah, looks like they've sniffed out that place where there is no sky. Time to pull your resources.
Like, usually if you were given a riddle, it would pop up on an on-screen display. In this case, the guy just held up the paper.
Unless, of course, you're streaming, and you'll have loads of people in the chat telling you what to do anyway.
Well, they finally mentioned a streamer. I'm not going to bother to count mentions of streaming, though, because, in all honesty, that's more just them pushing Mixer. I'm going to put that down as a mention of Mixer instead.
For likely locations, following your map, clues, and your instincts to make light work of each new mystery.
There can't be an infinite number of these, though.
Step 11 paces northwest through the gloom.
Like,
dig my chest from his tomb. And with that, we're one step closer to payday. Then again,
like you could have many different places in many different pre-laid out caves to hide treasures. So like the 11 paces in a certain direction could be randomized a little bit, but it's gonna feel awfully repetitive if you're not careful anyways.
Of course, the trouble with treasure as a rule is that the owners really like to hang on to it. If you've got your hands full, it's up to your crew to watch your back.
So in other words, if you're the person who's holding something, you don't get to play the game.
For another strategic withdrawal with the loot.
And also, this is a game you can't play as single player. And also, this is a game you can't play with random people because they won't cooperate with you at all. And you'll lose almost certainly.
Now that's a rescue.
Seems like the game has some dynamic weather. Well, you'd convince me to want to play this game a lot more if you could tell me that you can play it as single player and just have decent AI characters. I don't know if maybe I'm just not a big fan of pirates in general.
Chest back to your ship, you'll be able to turn a tidy profit by trading them in at an outpost. That's just the tiny matter of making it through this storm in one piece.
I think what I would say is that pirate stories are stories by default, and so unless you have a lot of good writing going on and a lot of dialogue, I don't have any interest. Like, we have too many Space Marines, too many military men, too many other games where you run and gun and shoot things that are like cannons or fly or drive vehicles that are like boats. So those elements of pirates stories don't make sense. Shooting this gun just seems incredibly slow. That sword combat was pretty fast, but still there's some issues there.
All pirate life is here on the Sea of Thieves, and you can live yours however you want. So rally your crew.
But, and again, that feels like you can do whatever you want because we don't really have a game here as far as an actual story gameplay mode.
Try not to be this one.
That was a much better trailer than what I'd seen up to this point. I'm still completely uninterested in Sea of Thieves. I don't know why so many people think it is. So there's this Fulbright game. Which is this weird... If it's the one I'm thinking about, you're in a spaceship and you see these recordings. Yeah, Fulbright is the name of the company. Tacoma is the name of the game. We already knew about it. In fact, I think I've seen a lot more than that.
World premiere.
I think Fulbright is the company that split off of Dim Bulb Productions or something. That the name is a direct jab at their previous group. And now we're just watching from very far away a couple of animated characters. Is this a Conquer game? I don't think so. It'd be nice if there was an actual kids game. But... oh, is this that Bugsy game that they were talking about? Well, if it works well and it has smooth gameplay, that's the problem. Is Yooka-Laylee just recently got released and it didn't run smoothly, so nobody was really happy with it. This looks so old school as far as collecting coins and doing and just like platforming. I wouldn't be upset if this was a good game. I'd be very happy. But if this is exactly like what some of the old games where you have to collect 100 collectibles to even move forward, and it's just a grind the whole time, that's gonna be that's where it has to have a more modern sentimentality and get away from the idea of 100% collectability. Nothing wrong with that trailer, but I would like to see more before I commit to it. I've never played a Bugsy game before, so I don't know any of the story or anything. Wait, that's not Bugsy. Well, there was a new Bugsy game announced also. Super Lucky's Tale.
Exclusive.
Is this gonna be Borderlands 3? No, it's Cuphead. Oh, well, that's been delayed and reworked. It was just boss fights, and they wanted more platforming. Everybody loves this this old school animation style, and I just for the experience will want to play it once, but I'm not sure if the platforming sections are going to be good. That's not what I've heard. Is this Crackdown? You may notice I'm guessing a lot of games and getting it wrong because games are so similar.
We're gonna light it back up because this is far from over. Ready for action. It's only just begun. That's why we brought in you. You got the talent. I need a new scout. Now you need the tech. Today, job's done. You throw grenades. Tomorrow
It's
you'll be throwing cars.
It's that guy.
Dropping bombs.
Interesting.
Now it's time to get to work.
Now I don't know where the story of Crackdown 3 is going to go because it turns out that who you thought were the good guys aren't the good guys, and I think they killed the hero in Crackdown 1 and 2. But I don't know if they're going to bother to tell any of that story. Crackdown 2 wasn't as good, I think, as Crackdown 1. Let's see. Now this Crackdown 3 has been delayed because they were trying to run a bunch of things through servers, like the built-in destruction and stuff through cloud computing, and I think they probably have abandoned that and won't even mention it. Crackdown 2 had, oh yeah, I did play that, didn't I? Not on my channel, but I did play it. It had a bunch of monsters that came out at night. And their mixer stream is loading. So you were playing as RoboCop basically in 1 and 2, and for an evil police organization that you didn't particularly, they didn't come out and say it was evil until the very end of, I think, Crackdown 2. So I don't know who you're playing as, if you're working for an organization or what. Unruly Heroes? Path of Exile? Battle Right? Seems like they're just surviving Mars. They've just sped some things up. Fable Fortunes, they're not even going to talk about that. That one, I'm not surprised. Observer. I'm going to have to just get a list of all the games because they're flashing them too fast. Dunk Lord's interesting. That game looks slightly interesting too. Brawlout is the Oubliettes. That one might be interesting. At least it has a different art style. Darklight, not sure. Haven't heard of that one. Strange Brigade, new one to me. Riverbound, that one's probably not going to be very good. Hello Neighbor. Well, that's already on PC in early access. If they actually finished it, that'd be interesting. Conan Exiles, nope, not gonna get anybody to play Conan Exiles. It's been on early access for too long. Interesting question if they let the nude option available on the Xbox version of Conan Exiles.
Shine a light on their work, making it easy for them to build and share their creations. That's why the ID at Xbox program is so important to us. the team has released over 500 games on Xbox One and Windows 10 through the ID at Xbox program. And this is not just a milestone for the program and the independent developer community. It's a milestone for everyone who loves great games. I hope you're reminded today why it's so great to be a gamer on Xbox. Action, adventure, story.
I kind of wonder if maybe we're at the end.
Bring it all together.
No, we can't be at the end. They haven't done 42 games yet. They did just do about.
Very special.
I would guess they probably dumped.
Exclusive.
Dumped about 15 games in that collage. Obviously, those games were not ready to be shown. What's this one?
The day dawned, and we rose with this first light. But that light was a betrayal, only fleeting.
Is this Torchlight? No,
In its wake, the
that'd be a
night
completely
returned to
different
flames.
artistic style if it was.
After lifetimes, the light grows again, faint and vulnerable.
It would be. I think this is a new game. Or new to me, at least.
Light rather than just survive in the dark. This rebirth will end our wandering.
Jaina versus Illidan Stormreign.
You are not prepared.
Ashwin. Okay, I don't know. I don't know about that. Like, when you just see no even beginning of an indication of gameplay. There you go, Life is Strange 2. Which tells me I need to play Life is Strange 1. So, what we want to see here is it the same girl as the first season? Is it a prequel to the first season? Are they making a prequel and a sequel at the same time? Because there's been all kinds of rumors. It doesn't particularly look like the same girl. But maybe she's just older. It's not exactly a complete unique thought, but the idea of them having a teen drama game to tell a teen drama story isn't terrible. We have entire channels on basic cable that do that, and it's certainly a genre that could. So I'm gonna go ahead and cross out to number 2 and put prequel ?
Please welcome, from Monolith Productions, Vice President of Creative, Michael DePlatter.
Shadow of War.
You tried to humiliate me. You left your mark on me, but it didn't work. You burned my mind. I'll kill you. Until this moment, you have not known suffering. Who shall be next to taste So now I'm gonna kill you for all these orcs to see.
So the thing with Shadow of War
It's about sizing up a situation
is
impossible and saying,
the more story, more different types of orcs, more of the same is kind of all I want in a sequel. Like, when you're in the second of a game, you just kind of want more of the same with potentially some small improvements if there need to be any small improvements. But I don't want the second or third in a series to redo or reboot mechanics too much.
We're really excited about are forging an army of followers and nemesis fortresses. Here, we'll use the Ring of Power and recruit this
I desperately would want more maps. I know it's all supposed to be in Mordor, but they've got to do something different. And the maps need to be a little bit better designed. There were some levels in Shadow of Mordor where it was very difficult to sneak into areas, and you would just fail, and then you would just say forget it and run towards your goal. Run towards the captain and take him on, and unless the captain was cowardice and tried to run away, you could just get in a fight like this and continue fighting him. It seems like some of your magical abilities are now counterable, so you're not overpowerful like you might have been before.
Same thing, really. It results me ripping spines out, which I like to do anyway, so either way's a win. A fine addition to our army. Name's Bruce. From here on out, I will be...
Now, what's interesting is the only ogre... There was only one ogre in the first game that had any real personality.
You want to plant your flag in Mordor, you'll need to do it deep. There's a fortress nearby. That's ruled by a two-headed troll big as a mountain. Deadly smart, which, oh, I guess he'd have to be given the two heads. You take him down.
See, and I suspect the character we're seeing right now is a main character. I don't think all the orcs are going to talk this much.
Do this alone. Gather your troops. Will do. Ooh, just make sure you let me pop his heads off, won't ya?
Yeah, he's a main character.
So we already have a few loyal followers in our army, and recruiting Bruce means we're ready to assault the fortress and overthrow the Overlord. We're enormously expanding the open world of Mordor to new regions like Saragost and Cirith Ungol. Mordor's a massive, living, breathing world filled with orc society,
like,
tribes,
I don't care if they I honestly couldn't care if they expanded Mordor, quote unquote, all the way to the into all of the lands in the Lord of the Rings. If it goes all the way to the Hobbit Shire and past the Great Ocean even further, and they just call all of that Mordor, I couldn't care less. Solo adventures. So, still trying to win practice modes. Haven't even unlocked the characters.
Instead of killing the machine, we'll dominate him, so we can take advantage of his abilities during the fortress assault.
You take out the Overlord,
The setup of Hearthstone when you first play is way too long. If you just want to play your friends, you come back a week later, honestly. Because you're just not going to... You're not going to be able to. You have to go through so many... You have to go through... What is it? 7 or 8 tutorial games. And now they want me to play 5 practice games. And you have to do other things to actually unlock the other characters. Yeah, I think you have to beat them. Which means the easy practice mode against these characters has to be incredibly easy. So you're never going to do easy practice mode again in your career of playing Hearthstone. They're kind of just spoiling story right now on Shadow Mordor. I kind of don't want to see this. Like, when you get to this section, which is, I suspect, probably the first big battle section, it's going to play the same way.
Forge your story and conquer Mordor in Shadow of War. And we can't wait to show you more this week at E3. Thank you very much.
Exclusive world premiere.
So let's move on to the next thing. A guy playing the piano. Heck, it's still better than the EA conference, so I can't really make any complaint. EA set the bar so low yesterday. Is this game, that game Fey? F-E-I? Never trust a Fey. The fairy are trickery species. And see, when you go this artsy on your trailers, you're not gonna get any story or any gameplay. I think it has the ability to make sounds to certain plants or something and maybe expand its abilities that way. And maybe it can turn itself into other animals. Now I assume a composer would have too much dignity to sit in front of a player piano or sit in front of a piano and pretend like he's playing. I assume that to be the case. I don't know it to be the case. Oh wait. A new Ori and the Blind Forest game. Although I think it may just be called Ori.
Ori affirms my belief in the beauty, artistry, and heart
in
the art of gaming.
I thought there might be a new game.
Like books,
a new Ori
movies,
game.
And music should be celebrated
announced kind of early, considering the definitive edition of the previous game. It only came out about a year ago.
And the genres you love to play. That's why 2 years ago we launched the Xbox Backward Compatibility Program to bring Xbox 360 games to your Xbox One. And we've seen tremendous growth in the program. Today, our library of games stands at 385 titles, and over half of Xbox One gamers have played a backward compatible
There was about 1,000 in my estimate Xbox
Today, I'm
titles.
pleased to announce an exciting expansion to the program.
So now they're bringing Xbox original games too. Nobody's gonna want to really play those. Not very many. Halo 1. That's all that people will want to play.
Our team of engineers are working hard to bring us some of your favorite original Xbox games to today's Xbox One library, including a fan favorite that I'm asked about often by the community, Crimson Skies. And it looks great. And like the Xbox 360 games, OG games will look better and play better.
And see, because they can't call the original Xbox the Xbox One, they're gonna just call them the OG games or something along that line.
I'm proud of the library of games available today on Xbox One. All of them will benefit from the performance and power when you play them on Xbox One X. But we won't stop there. I'm excited to announce that if you own Gears of War 4, Forza Horizon 3, Killer Instinct, Halo Wars 2, or Minecraft, we'll be providing 4K updates to these titles for free.
Like all of those games that they have ownership of.
We already have over 30 titles from our third-party partners that are planning to provide free updates.
So after I play one, I could go into regular mode.
Titles
Let's see.
like Final Fantasy 15, Resident Evil 7, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon
Maybe if I got
Wildlands,
some gold, I could
and Rocket League, just to name a few.
Could purchase some.
This means
the other
you
thing,
probably already have a large library of
see, the
titles
one thing
that
I would
you own
like
today
to
that will automatically get better
to
on Xbox
purchase
One X.
is
Today,
this
showcase
One
some
Night in
of the world's
Karazhan before it
greatest
goes
creators
away.
with a lineup
This
of different types
welcome
of games
bundle
for every
for
type of gamer.
$5.
We showed you the largest
Apparently,
and most diverse lineup
I never
of new
got that.
games that have ever appeared on our stage. From every corner of the globe.
Yeah, but
from
I'm never gonna
developers
have
large and
cards.
small. 42 games, including 22 with console exclusivity on Xbox One.
Just try to go up ranked.
And you're also going to be able to play all of the biggest cross-platform blockbusters on Xbox
Rank 25
One.
with
And every
no
game
cards.
will play great across the Xbox One family.
These decks just
and
default
on Xbox
built.
One X runs every single game you've seen even better. So if you haven't joined the Xbox
So as far
One
as it
family,
seems,
now's
there
the
is
time.
no way
This week you'll find
to
Xbox One S available
have
in
the
the US for
Xbox
$249.
One
And on November 7th, we'll begin
X.
worldwide rollout of Xbox One X, the world's most powerful console, at $499.
$499,
Be the
which is
first
kind of what we
to
want.
experience unrivaled power and performance on the Xbox One.
They need to make a new
We
name.
close today's show by looking to the future with a
$499.
really great partner. They've been with us from the earliest days.
They
of
didn't even
Project
mention Mixer that
and
often.
they're building an incredible game that takes advantage of the power and performance of the Xbox One family and the new Xbox One X. Please welcome Patrick Sutherland, Executive Vice President, EA Worldwide Studios.
And so here comes EA. What have you got to show us other than the same thing you showed us yesterday?
New IP. It's the lifeblood of our industry.
Is it just Anthem again?
It's also risky. At EA, we have teams dreaming up a lot of projects, and only the greatest will make it their way to you. And that's okay. It's all a part of the creative process. And it's worth it, because when you find something special, there's no better feeling as a developer than introducing players to a brand new world. And as a player, there's no better feeling than losing yourself in a completely new experience. Our developers at BioWare have been creating something truly special. A huge open world that is lush, savage, mysterious, and ever-changing. Filled with interesting
Gonna
characters,
delete
new
some
types of
people
gameplay,
off my
and enjoy
friends
with your
list on the
friends for
European
years to come.
section
This is
if they
what's
haven't been
possible
online
to take
in
next
more than a
ordinary
month.
vision and combine it with the latest technologies and hardware. Amazing concepts
Sorry,
become
just frankly don't need that.
great ideas become reality.
If you haven't played Hearthstone in a month, you tried it once, you didn't like it, you move on. I get it.
On behalf of the team at
Doesn't mean I'm
Bioware,
gonna keep you.
let's see what this game looks like running on an Xbox One X. Here's John Warner from Bioware to show you Anthem.
The people at rank 25 are either new players
I'm
or
John Warner, game director for Anthem. Here is the world premiere of Anthem's gameplay.
or people that have literally got no idea.
Hey.
Let's go ahead and do that. Or they're bots that just to lose all the time. Or don't play. Alright, so we're getting... It looks like different footage.
Listen. Big trouble. Big trouble.
What did you do?
That animation doesn't look that great.
I hired some people. They weren't freelancers. I know.
See, that was the immediate joke after the announcement of Anthem was that they can't, because of all the complaints of the facial animations in Mass Effect Andromeda, they just put everybody in helmets and masks so they don't have to animate facial animations, and people can't complain against that. So they're now countering that by showing some facial animations, but frankly they don't look that
you
good.
and your friends are freelancers, the heroes who leave the safety of the walls of Fort Tarsus to explore the unknown and protect humanity. Let's join two players as they head out on an expedition.
Hey, Bob. You ready to go?
We're just grabbing some supplies. Just about ready.
What are you going to use today?
I decided to go with the Colossus.
I'm going to use my Ranger. Try out some new upgrades.
So you get into what feels like a rather tight piece of equipment.
Every player will own an array of exosuits we call javelins. These suits give players superhuman
Do you
capabilities
really need to make a new
and are
name
heavily
every time?
customizable so they look and play how you want.
Just call them exosuits, just stick with exosuits.
Yeah, I got it on the weekend. You lead the way, I'll follow.
So anytime you can fly around a 3D environment, then I wonder if the game's main engine is designed around the flying ability.
World you explore with your friends. Each javelin
So it
exosuit
will
has
be a
its
little
own
bit
unique play style.
less easy to control once you're actually on the ground walking.
Alright. Let's see what's up here.
Or if it's not easier to control, at the very least it's slow to control. You can see there's jets coming out of his back, speeding up his run.
Dynamic world where the unexpected is around every corner.
A dynamic hunting world. What's funny is we've already seen a game that looked similar to this in Metro Exodus or Anthem.
I'll go low. You flank.
I guess it's not worth doing. When you're doing the setup, I guess you shouldn't bother to do anything other than the daily quest of winning 5 practice modes first. So let's go back here. And then we'll stick with Hunter. And then we'll just play against all the other characters. How is this not Titanfall, though?
You can equip your
Like,
javelin
Microsoft kind of failed to sell Titanfall. I know Microsoft didn't make Titanfall, I know, but they didn't really embrace it or convince the publishers, the creators of it, to put out the Titanfall 2 sequel at a good time with a lot of advertisement. They just kind of sneaked it out, and it's a pretty good game from what I hear. But this seems very similar to that game, first-person shooters, though. Oddly, the character's on the wrong side of the screen for most players. Usually your character's on the right, not the left. I would hope that at the very least you could adjust that.
Oh, nice.
Large-scale world events like Shaper Storms are dynamic and pull you off the beaten path with the promise of new stories to discover.
Oh, Shaper Storm incoming. Okay, actually, let's get some more people. Hold on a sec.
Hey guys, what's up?
Hey, what's happening?
So one person just fell from the sky, another person just magically teleported in on Anthem. I still have no idea what this game is about. It feels just like another Destiny style game, honestly.
This storm is getting crazy. So what are we supposed to do?
Severely dynamic weather.
Alright, let's do
Some kind
this.
of spaceship.
See you on the other side.
It opens to a portal.
Our story is out there.
So Anthem is teased again. Maybe we'll get more information about Anthem in the next Bethesda stream for some reason. Or the PlayStation stream, more realistically. So now it looks like we're going to get a collage of everything that they've shown up to this point. Or a lot of it. I don't recall them mentioning a football game. Was that Madden? Are they just squeezing in all the EA announcements from yesterday? The biggest surprise was that actor being in Crackdown 3. I believe they just showed that game that is in early access on We Happy Few. Another one they didn't really talk about or give a special trailer to. It honestly doesn't feel like, though, that they couldn't have taken more time if they wanted to. It feels like they are limiting themselves for no reason. And then another Mixer promotion. Thank you for watching the Xbox E3 briefing. World exclusives. Sea of 3 co-stream. Go to Mixer. Some more. Well, guess I'm kind of glad here. I'm gonna give them one more tick mark for mentioning Mixer. They mentioned Mixer, according to my count, about 5 times, whereas EA mentioned YouTube streamers about 10 times. So I think they did a much better job of keeping themselves restrained. Let's see. And we'll see if the stream seems like it's just gonna end. It doesn't seem like they're gonna try to put any trailers on or do any catch-ups or anything that would, like, in case you didn't catch it the first time. All of that stuff would be just in a press kit anyways, I suppose. Let's see. A little sad nobody else came on the chat, but maybe the chat's messed up. Nobody commented on the video quality, so I have to assume it's good. So I can't really fix anything if it isn't good. So let's just switch here. Let's come over here and take the chat down and instead bring up the E3 schedule. The next stream is at 9 p.m. Pacific time, so in about an hour and 13 minutes, I would say, if I'm doing the math correct. We're gonna do the Bethesda stream. I imagine the Bethesda stream is not going to be that long, and then like an hour after the Bethesda stream is the Digital Devolver. I mean Devolver Digital. I get that name backwards all the time. So we've got a slightly different picture here. Seems like they're just going to show us a picture of the Scorpio. I want to point out on this picture, all those little squares around the square in the middle are RAM. And they've moved the RAM very, very close to the CPU. So it can be a lot faster and have a lot less delay or latency. I imagine eventually we're going to get to the point where instead of having the RAM sticks in PCs in their own connectors that are a few inches away from where you plug in your CPU. I wouldn't be surprised if you start putting it right next to the CPUs under the same heatsink or water cooling unit or whatever you're going to use. Because that's what they're going to as far as the built-in selection and the console designs. If it weren't for the holes around the CPU where they mount the cooling unit, they could have easily also gotten it even closer. Anyways, well, that stream's over. It's not showing any audio or anything like that. So I've been on my the European account, which is not particularly set up yet, so I can only play as 4 of the 7 characters, and it is going to just be the default setup. And I can't even play wild right now. But there are several things, since the accounts are saved, that allowed me to earn some packs as rewards and some cards. So let's do these card pack openings. Actually, let's not. Sorry to tease. Let's do the card pack openings in... Well, no, we kind of need to do it now. Sorry. I'll do it now, and we'll probably have the exact same cards to open in for the Asian market, because it'll be the same rewards. since these are all new accounts and your cards don't transfer over to the other markets, it's you're selling yourself. It's really silly. I'd never really want to play on anything but the America's region. I have far too many cards for that. And I'm not going to build a deck or anything with these. Like these golden versions. Might as well sell them and get the neutral, the regular versions, because the golden versions just stand out if you don't have all of them. So now I have one of each of these. So here, here, here. It would be kind of crazy if I got a legendary. And I guess if I was rolling the money, I would spend the $5 on the welcome pack, but then I am certainly not rolling the money, so I wouldn't want to do that. Well, I hope you enjoyed the stream. It was at least informative. At least we know what games we have, and so you can't even have the decks since they've changed and updated things. It used to be by default you had 9 default decks that you couldn't ever get rid of, and now you can hit the X and delete them, but you haven't unlocked the other heroes, so that doesn't work at all, and they want me to go through all the customization, and I don't want to do any of that. Like, it's kind of pointless to even be in crafting mode here. It's easier just to hover over everything. Now it's probably a waste to even do this. Let's see. Let's standard sets. They're not even showing you the wild sets. I wonder if they're gonna try and lock you out of wild gameplay completely for new players. The one thing I would want to see is the adventure, and it's not here, so you can't even buy. Even though One Night at Karazhan is here, and you can buy it with the money, you can't, it seems, purchase it elsewise. Like, you just can't do it. And there's so many other unlocks that you would have had to play in a specific point. You're really going to have a bad experience. Let's see. And they have the new copy and paste feature here, but I can't go to wild. I don't have any wild cards. I may never have any wild cards, or wild may not unlock for this setup until they ban some of the standard cards right now. Anyways, that's it for this stream. I'll figure out the rest of Hearthstone and its weirdness and how it treats new players to the game later. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. I'll be back in an hour. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.